Hello, my name is Mia,
Hi, I'm Covey.
And I'm Sabrina.
and welcome to
The Couch Potato Lab.
where we bring the science to you. Today, on our episode of the Couch Potato Lab, we are going to be talking about flight. And we're going to be talking about how airplanes fly. And I brought two amazing expert scientists today to teach us about this. So, to my left, we have...
Hi, everybody. My name is Covey. My pronouns are he and him. And a fun fact is that I brought my pet bird today. And my pet bird is very, very excited to meet all of you and to meet Sabrina as well, especially Sabrina. Sabrina, I can't wait for you to meet my friend, my best friend in the world, my generic bird. Yeah, so that's me.
Can't
Awesome.
wait.
And my name is Mia. My pronouns are she, her. And a fun fact about me is my sister is actually graduating grade 12 right now in a drive-through graduation. So congratulations to her. And to my right, we have...
I'm Sabrina. My pronouns are she and her. And my fun fact of the day, which Covey might have given away a little bit, is that I am a little bit scared of birds, like not terrified, but I don't like to get near them and close to them. I live on a farm, and so we have lots of birds hanging around, and they like to swoop at our heads when we leave the house. And so I'm not looking forward to meeting Covey's pet bird today.
Sabrina,
At
what's the scariest bird that you find is the
'Kay,
scariest of them
Well,
all?
they're small. They're called swallows, and they're like this big. They're very small, but they get so close to you. They get so close to you. They swoop at your heads if you're near their nest. But it's not like a big bird, so maybe big birds are scary to some people, but to me, these things get way too close for comfort. Don't like them. But before we get started, today we would like to acknowledge that we are on treaty territory. We also recognize the diversity of our audience, where you might be coming from different treaty territory or unceded territory. But today we're coming to you live from Treaty 4, which is the traditional land of the Nehiyawak, the Nakaway, the Lakota, Dakota, and Nakota peoples, as well as the traditional homeland of the Métis-Michif Nation. So we're really excited and thankful to be here today, and we also thank you for taking a moment to recognize or find out what treaty territory you're on today.
Awesome. Thank you, Sabrina. Now, a thing about me and flight is I have been on a lot of airplanes in my life. I've even been on one that's been 14 hours long.
Oh my god.
But they still make me feel so uneasy, and I always get so scared when I'm about to go on a plane. So I feel like talking about flying today might help me next time that I need to go on a plane. So Sabrina, can you tell me about the 4 principles of flying?
I sure can. So I'm going to start with a quick little demo. So Covey, if you're ready, I'm going to throw this hat at you. If you have a Frisbee at home, you can also test this. But I'm going to throw it like I would a Frisbee, which will demonstrate what an airplane or other things do when they're in flight. You ready?
I'm ready.
Oh,
Ooh,
there we go.
nice
That was
toss,
good.
Sabrina.
Awesome. Okay, you keep that over there, Covey.
'Kay, sounds
And
good.
I will pull this handy dandy thing out. We have an airplane here, but we can relate this to the flip Frisbee or the hat that we were doing. But the 4 principles of flight, the first one I'm going to talk about is thrust. So when I threw the hat, I needed to give it some push, right? So thrust is this way on an airplane. Now, opposing that force is called drag. And so there's wind, not really in here, but normally an airplane would have to go against the wind. And that is called drag. So those 2 forces are constantly back and forth with each other, helping an airplane stay in the air. Now, the other 2 are lift and gravity. So lift pulls up on an airplane, keeps it in the air so it doesn't fall down, and that would be what was keeping the hat in the air when I threw it as well. And the last one is gravity. So gravity is always pulling down on everything. It's pulling down on us right now. That's why we're stationary on the ground. And so that is what brings the airplane back down to Earth, or what brings the hat back down to Covey, is when you release that lift and gravity pulls it back down. So that makes sense, Covey and Mia?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do one more little demo. Covey, can I get your help over here?
Yes, Sabrina. I
'Kay,
will
perfect.
sit on this Actually, I'll stand first. but
Okay,
I'll
stand
right
first.
here.
Okay,
Yes.
so if we want to talk about thrust, thrust is what pushes the airplane up. And also, if I give Covey a little push there, that's what pushes him down to the ground. But if Covey was to resist my push, resist me a little bit here. Oh, not that much. That would be like drag in the air. So Covey is resisting my urge to push him, so his drag is resisting my thrust. And okay, Covey, now I'll get you to sit down so we can
Sit down?
demonstrate gravity.
All
Yeah?
right.
Take a nice little seat there.
Sabrina! Oh my
What?
God,
Well, I
are you
had to
doing?
demonstrate gravity. So when Covey fell onto the ground, that's gravity. If he would have sat down on the chair, gravity would keep him on the chair too, but it was more fun to see him fall.
I'm going to sit now.
Okay, you can sit now. And the last one, so if something is pulling you down, something has to also be holding us up. Otherwise, the airplane would not stay up in the air. So if I want to lift Covey up,
Wow, Sabrina, you're so strong.
ooh, I put a little bend in this. That's okay, though. So that would be like lift, keeping an airplane above ground. Does that make sense?
All right.
Makes sense to me.
Thank you so much, Sabrina.
Yeah. Thanks, Covey.
No
Yeah.
problems.
So as you can see, all of the 4 principles have to work together to keep an airplane in flight. Another really important thing that an airplane needs to stay in the air or to take off are wings. So when the airplane is in the air, it is very leveled and could be called in a resting position. So that means that all the air molecules on top of the airplane and underneath the airplane are the same, keeping it level. But when we are about to take off into the air, then our wings have to angle a bit. So they angle upward a bit, which means that there are more molecules coming on top of the airplane, which is pushing it faster, and there's less underneath. But this makes the pressure on top of the wing is less than the pressure underneath the wing. So that is able to push it off with the different forces. Is that correct, Covey?
Mia, you were so close. It's actually the opposite.
Oh.
So there's actually more air molecules at the bottom, allowing lift to happen, and there's less air molecules on top. And why that is because the wing is more of a curved shape. Because of that, the air molecules are being pushed back a little bit, and not too many air molecules are attacking the top. So it's actually the bottom, allowing the airplane to lift. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Messed up my facts a bit. But me and Covey are going to show a little demonstration of how a wing can go up into the air. So what I made over here is I made this little wing, and as you can see, it's curved right here. And I also added a straw through it, and then I put a string through that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this. I'm going to put my computer down here. And I'm going to place this under the computer, like this, and make it nice and tight. And then, whoa, it's tangled. And then what's going to happen is Covey is going to use our handy dandy blow dryer, and we're going to see if we can lift it up.
Oh.
Should we try turning it?
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Good. So it took a little bit of time to get it up there, but it eventually did go up. And this just shows that with the blow dryer on the on the wing, the pressure, or the force, or whatever, we had to have wind or going on top and underneath to make it fly up.
Mhm.
Right. All right.
So there are 2 components that are very important. So Mia talked about the wings. The second important part of the airplane is the engine. And what the engine is comprised of 2 things, the propeller and a jet. So the jet is sometimes optional, but most airplanes, the modern ones, have both components. And we're going to take a look at the blackboard right here. So Mia already talked about the importance of wings and what it allows the airplane to do. Because of the wings, it allows lift for the airplane, so the airplane can fly up into the air. But what the engine is, the main importance of the engine is to provide thrust so that the airplane can move forward. And how is that happening? Is that because there are a whole bunch of air molecules around the airplane, what the engine does is it pushes the air molecules backwards. Because of that, it allows the airplane to move forward and thrust to happen. But how about drag? What forces allow drag to happen? And that would be the air around it. So air resistance is part of drag. So the engine needs to overcome the air resistance and push as many air molecules as fast back so that the airplane can move forward. So with the combination of both the wings, the big wings, and the small little wings inside the engine, it allows the airplane to lift up and to move forward. And that is how an airplane works.
We know now that airplanes fly, and it takes a lot of different principles and a lot of stuff to make it fly, but they do fly. But there had to have been something for someone to find or figure out that an airplane could fly. For example, animals. Animals fly. So we have 3 friends today that are going to come and show us how they fly. So our first friend is going to be Beatrice the Butterfly. And so they are going to come right now.
Ooh, Beatrice the Butterfly. I can't wait. Maybe Beatrice is like a gigantic butterfly. Maybe it's a small little butterfly. I think it's going to be a monstrous
Monarch butterfly.
Oh, yeah, those big ones. Yeah, exactly. Oh, is that Beatrice?
Yeah,
hello.
Hi. Hi, I am Beatrice the Butterfly, and I am going to show you today how I can fly. So, I don't have wings like a bird. My wings are scaly, and they are spiky on the ends. And the way that I fly is by contracting my body with my wings and making a figure 8 and coming back out. So when I contract my body, the air is being pushed and it's being able to fly out. So I don't fly at all like a bird at all. Another very important thing that I can do is I don't fly in a straight line. I go all over the place because I don't want my predators to be able to know where I'm about to fly and get me. But if I am a butterfly that is poisonous, then I can fly more in a straight line. But that is a really cool thing that a butterfly does to adapt. All right, so now we are going to be moving on to our next animal that we have. And I think it's a bird. So let's go look at it, Covey.
Hello, my name is Generic Bird, and I am a bird. And fun fact is that airplanes were actually modeled after me because I'm so great. Yes, but what makes me so great is that my body is really, really tiny and compact, but very, very strong. And because of that, my wings are attached to my thorax and I flap my wings, generating thrust so I can move forward and kind of like swim in the air. But as you can see, I have pretty feathers too, but although they're pretty, they have some good function. So the importance of feathers is that it kind of protects me from like environmental, wind and hail, all those elements, environmental elements, and it protects me from that as well. And it also reduces friction in the air so I can fly very, very smoothly. I also have a tail, and it's really, really small, so you can't really see it, but the tail is small because it acts like a rudder. And the rudder helps me balance and maintain myself up in the air. And it's small, not like those peacocks with the gigantic feathers. No, peacocks can't fly. And because of their giant tails, they use that to attract mates. And since they're so big, they can't fly like me. Yeah, so I'm great. But anyways, feathers, wings, body, tail. Those are the main importance of me and how I adapted so I can learn how to fly. But there are different types and shapes of wings as well. So I'm about to show you a picture of different wings of what a bird can have. And there are different things as well. So one of them is called the elliptical wing. And what the elliptical wing is usually for small birds like robins and also bats, but it allows them to maneuver around the air. We also have high-speed wings, and high-speed wings are relatively long so that they can flap and get the biggest stride and biggest thrust so that they can move forward really, really fast. Next one would be like long soaring wings, and they would have those wings would be for like seagulls and albatrosses so that they can fly and not expend a lot of energy. And the next one would be like the high lift broad soaring wings, and those would be for like vultures, for bigger birds, so they are like really, really big to balance off their body. Yeah, so those are the 4 main wing shapes that my other friends may have. Yeah,
Thank you so much. Now we're going to look on my right and see what this is.
I am Fred, the flying squirrel. I have cartilage spurs on my wrists all the way to my ankles, which I'll show you in a minute. And they help me jump. So like my other 2 friends over here, they had wings that allow them to just pick up and fly long distances. But because I'm a squirrel, I don't have wings. It's just kind of like a giant parachute that helps me go farther distances. So if I see my friend hanging out in a tree and it's really far tree, my instincts tell me I probably can't make that jump by myself. So I'm going to open my handy dandy cartilage spurs and so basically it'll be bone all the way out, and there'll be little bones to help keep it sturdy, but mostly it's just material that helps me stay afloat. And so when I do this jumping, I'll come over and show you right now. I don't stay in the air just solid, like just flat. I have to move one way, then the other way, then the other way to keep me in the air. That's how I fly.
You fly as if you're dancing.
I fly as if I'm dancing. And I have a little tail, which you can't see, that helps me stay in the air, like stay sturdy in the air. Looks much similar to my friend, the bird. What else do I have? I have long claws so that when I get to the tree, I can latch onto the tree and not fall down. And basically, I just use this to jump from tree to tree. They call me a glider, not a flyer, because my nickname is Flying Squirrel, but really I can't flap these. I can just open them up like a giant parachute. And that's how I fly.
Awesome. And we are going to be looking at a video of a flying squirrel, if it will come up.
There I am. Oh.
Whoa.
These animals
Wow, it
are
glides
clearly,
real far.
gliding, and they're actually doing better than just a regular glide. They're actually getting some pretty good distance. So I would say that they've done remarkably well. They have complete control. They can turn. They can even go 180 degrees. They can take off in one direction and land in the opposite direction. They're pretty spectacular.
Whoa, that was really cool. Now, we've seen a lot of different animals that can fly, but Covey, there are peacocks and penguins. Those are birds, but they don't fly. How come?
So those flightless birds are also called ratites. And ratites actually don't have a keel in their flat breastbone. So because of that, they are unable to support their muscles, pectoral muscles, for flight. And they also have really puny wings, and those puny wings can't support the weight of their body. So unfortunately, chickens and ostriches, kiwis, emus, and penguins don't have the ability to fly. Yeah, they are just stuck on Earth like the rest of us.
I feel like I would be less scared of those birds because they can't swoop at me if they can't fly.
But
Maybe.
Sabrina, ostriches are like insanely fast. So
Like
if
how
they're really
fast?
hungry, they can chase after you
But I could probably outrun them. Like, how fast are you talking?
like real fast.
Like
Like
cheetah?
I think as fast as a cheetah.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Really?
I'm serious. Like they are real fast. So
Okay, well, now I'm scared of all birds.
oops, that might not have helped.
All right. So now we are going to move into an activity. So we are going to be making paper airplanes. And Kofi is going to show us one. Sabrina is going to show us another.
The first thing that you will need to do is to take a piece of paper, so just like regular printer paper, and you're going to fold it hot dog style. So not hamburger, but hot dog style. So fold that and make a nice crease. And once you folded that, the next thing I want you to do is to open your paper. All right, so you can finally see that prominent and conspicuous crease line right there. You're going to have this corner right here, and you're going to bring it to the crease line so that this edge is parallel to the crease line in the middle. All right, and you're going to do it for both sides, so one on the left and one on the right. There you go, just like this. All right, once you have that, you're going to do something similar again to this to the previous step. You're going to take this side right here, so this edge, and bring it back to the crease line. And you're going to do it for both sides as well. So I'm just going to quickly press it down. Voila, paper airplane. All right, you should be at this stage at the moment. What you're going to do next is you're going to kind of fold it back in half. So you're going to fold it like this way. So if you got this side and you got the open side, what you're going to do is you're going to bring it so this edge and this edge meets. And you should have this. Perfect. It almost looks like a finished paper airplane, but there is one last step. The last step is to have this edge of the wing to meet the bottom edge of the other on the bottom of the wing. All right. So I'm gonna quickly do that. Wha-bam! And the same thing for the other side. So again, this edge, and bring it to the bottom edge right there. And there you go. You have the arrow. Ding, 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 ding.
Wow.
A very simple and easy airplane that flies really, really, really well. Look, does it look good, Mia?
It looks really good.
Yeah.
Better than I could ever do.
All right. I think Sabrina has another cool design that she would like to share. Sabrina, take it away.
All right, so my airplane is going to be like a level 2 airplane. Kobe's was more like a level 1, so we'll see whose turns out better. So we're going to start the same way, and we're going to fold it. What did you say, Kobe? Hot dog?
Hot dog style.
Hot dog, not hamburger. I'll never understand that. Then we are going to have it fold open like this, and just like Kobe's, fold down one side so it reaches that crease. Try and get it as close to that crease as you can. And same with the other side. So you should have a nice point at the top when you're done. Should look like this. Looks good. Then we want to take this where it meets the paper, so where these little flaps are, we want to fold it from that flap and fold it downwards. And make sure your tip is still on the crease of the paper. Still in the middle of the paper, so we're making it as symmetrical as possible, because I think that's important when you're making paper airplanes, because it will affect how it flies. Okay, next step is to take each corner and fold it in. So we want to leave about an inch here. So we want to leave about an inch there, because we're going to need to fold it up later. So I'm going to fold this side in. That looks like about an inch. And fold that down. And then you want to bring it as close to the same to the next side as you can, so you have a nice little triangle at the bottom. So make sure you get your lines nice and crisp. I think that also helps. Not that I'm an airplane. Well, I am an airplane expert, but not necessarily paper airplanes. And then we are going to take that piece that's at the bottom, this little corner, and we're going to fold it up. And remember, you don't want it to go to this side too much or to this side too much, so try and keep it as much towards the center as you can. Okay, 2 more steps. We want to take this and fold it backwards. So we've been working on the front now, and we want to turn that into the outside so you can see all of the pieces on the outside. So you should have 2 pieces kind of folded in there. And the last step is to fold the bottom up. Similar to what Kobe was doing the last step, you want to take this piece and fold it flush against the outside of your piece of paper. So there's one side, and then I'm going to flip it over. Make my lines nice and crisp. Try and make it as symmetrical as possible. And this is your level 2 airplane. Kind of looks like a boat.
I made an airplane as well. It's called the Dart airplane.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah. And now what we're going to do with our airplanes is we're going to see who has the best airplane. So how we're going to determine this is by measuring its distance. So we're each going to throw our airplanes 2 times, and we are going to see whose airplane goes the furthest. So,
Ooh.
Sabrina, would you like to start?
Sure, I will start with my fantastic airplane. And of course, you can do other tests at home too. Another one that you could do is to see how long your airplane stays in the air, or maybe you could try different materials as well, because different materials will affect how your airplane flies, such as if you use heavier material like cardstock, gravity, it will weigh more, and so gravity will be working harder on your airplane. So those are some different tests. I'm going to sneak off, and so hopefully you can see my airplane land instead of take off, because I think that's a cooler part to see it land. So let's see. Where am I? Kobe, you're going to measure
I
for
will
me?
determine your distance.
Okay.
So make sure you're not cheating.
I'm not cheating. Here goes my airplane. 1, 2, 3. Oh, fail.
Oh.
Didn't even make it into the
Try
camera.
again, try again.
Okay, here we go. That other one didn't count, right? Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All right, this one counted.
That one counts. How far did it go?
20 centimeters.
20.
Okay, let's see if I can beat it.
Okay.
Mia, you got that? 20 centimeters? Okay, let me really concentrate. Oh, that was
Ooh,
better.
That was a little better.
I think I have to work
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
on the wings maybe, because it's not really getting very much thrust. Hey, Kobe, did you notice that?
Yeah, maybe adjust the wings a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay.
So Sabrina got 55 on the second one.
55.
It's a huge improvement from that.
That is
Ooh.
a really big improvement. All right, now it's my turn.
All
I'm gonna
right.
Go see.
Good luck, Mia.
Thank you. All righty. Whoa.
Whoa, that's a good one.
Oh my
That had a lot of-
gosh.
65.
Wow. That was in the air for such a long time. One more time. Whoa. That just went so much.
Infinity. Is it past?
150.
150?
150. What? That's hard.
That's very impressive.
All right, it is now my turn. I'm going to test out, I think, yes, the arrow. I will be testing out the arrow. I'll be off screen. All right, Mia, are you ready
Yes.
to measure the distance?
Oh
my gosh, that
was
looks like
200.
220.
220.
That was so far.
I guess the dart is speedy.
Yeah, the arrow.
Oh, the arrow.
The arrow. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that one wasn't as
That was
No.
not as good.
65.
65. Perfect. Thank you, Mia.
Well,
You're
maybe
welcome.
if we would have tested stay in the air, maybe I would have won.
I think one of the biggest thing is that my paper airplane, the tip kind of like bent, and because of that, I think it kind of like changed the direction. It was leaning more towards the right, I believe. Oh, the left. Yeah, so it was leaning, the tip leaned more to the left. So because of that, it kind of turned to the left and could have went farther. I should have like straightened it a little bit, but yeah.
So those sharp lines are really important, hey, Kobe?
Yes,
Make sure
exactly.
that they're precise.
So let's take a look at the scores, Mia.
Yeah, so I think that, Covey is the big winner here with 220 centimeters.
Ooh.
And then I'm a close second with my 150 centimeters. And then Sabrina's didn't make it as far. Neither of hers made it as far as our lowest distances. But, you know, different airplanes, maybe they're made for different things.
It
to see
is
different things.
called the stable, so maybe it's just meant to be sturdy in the air and not go far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it would like stay in the air a little bit longer than usual.
Maybe.
Maybe it's designed for that,
That could be.
hovering.
And Covey has 2 other airplanes at his station, so let's see what those are.
So, I want to show you this one. All right, this one's kind of inspired by a bird I found on YouTube. It's really, really cool. Let's take a look at. Let's see if Sabrina can catch this airplane. Ready, Sabrina?
Yeah, ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Whoa, that was
Whoa.
super
That was nice.
accurate.
That was really good.
Should have used that one. All right, the next one I have is this. What is
Kobe,
this?
that
Is
does
this
not look like an airplane. I think you're confused now.
No. This is called the ring. Dun, dun, dun. And the ring doesn't fly like a paper airplane. It actually glides like Fred the Squirrel.
Oh.
And there's a secret way on how to throw the ring. So you're going to have to like cup it, and then it's all in the flick of the wrist. Yes.
Are we
and
playing baseball now?
maybe. But ready,
Ready.
Sabrina?
I'm ready. Let's see.
Okay, let's do a little. Hopefully it'll
Make
work.
sure that is cupped just right.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, not quite.
No,
Didn't
let me
make it
try
to
again.
me. Okay, one more try.
Yeah, pass.
I think this is my favorite one.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna try it one more time.
Whoa, close, but
Oh,
It's
so
maybe I'll
close.
try. I'll give it a go. See if my hands are better equipped for this. Maybe I'll angle it like this. Ready?
Yes.
That was better.
Oh.
I will
Okay.
say that. It went farther.
Yes. Well, I have to say earlier it did go very, very far. But I think that's so cool because it's a circle and it's in the air.
I would never
Who'd
have
ever
guessed
thought?
that would be able to even fly.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Sabrina, does the weight of our airplanes, does that matter?
It does matter for sure. And I wonder maybe because I did all these folds at the top of my airplane, I think maybe it's weighted down that way, so that's why it wasn't going as far, because it was just going all the way down. But weight definitely affects how our airplanes function and move. And so a real airplane, if they have lots of weight, so if you think there's lots of people on the airplane and if there's lots of luggage, the airplane has to get at a greater speed to take off, and they also need a longer runway. So if you've ever been to an airport and you've seen how crazy long those runways are that the airplanes need to keep getting faster and faster before they take off, it's basically because they're so heavy. And if they were lighter, you would need a smaller space to take off. But the heavier they are, the more weight they have and the more gravity is pulling them down. So they need more thrust to take off, and their wings need to probably be longer and bigger to allow for more lift. And then when you affect the wings, then you have more drag. And so really it's just a big circle of if you affect one principle of flight, they're all affected. But maybe if I would have put more weight on the back of my airplane, it would have flown better. So that's definitely something you can try at home if you want to add some more weight to part of their airplane, or if you want to try other designs. Maybe this airplane was better because Covey also altered the wings. So where my wings aren't very long in this section, his are quite a bit longer than mine. So he would have more lift to keep his in the air. And I think Mia's was longer too. Mia's,
Yeah.
what do your wings look like?
My
Her wings
wings
are
are
the
really
whole
long.
length of the paper.
And they are angled down a bit, which could help as well.
Yes, and that point, definitely. Maybe that point also affected my airplane because mine is not a point, it's just a line. So the steady airplane would not be my first choice of making a paper airplane.
All right. So there it was a question that has to do with this subject, and it is, will my material affect my airplane? For example, if I use cardstock versus if I use tissue paper. Sabrina.
Yeah, I think that totally has to do with weight too, what we're talking about, because if you use a heavier material like cardstock, you're going to need to give it more thrust to take off, and it's going to need more lift to stay in the air because that force is pulling it down because it's heavier. But tissue paper is a lot lighter, so you need probably less force. So don't chuck your tissue paper because they'll probably just flutter in the air because it's a lot lighter, so it has a lot less weight, so it needs a lot less lift. If that makes sense.
Thank you.
All the forces affect each other.
Thank you, Sabrina. So now we have looked at, we've made our paper airplanes and now have seen how they work. But honestly, I'm still like a little scared to fly. And I was just wondering, like, are there other ways that like I could fly? Other things that I could fly in instead? Covey?
Yes, Mia, I have the solution for you. So other things that we can do and use are hot air balloons. And hot air balloons are a gigantic balloon, but instead it's not filled with helium. It actually has an open bottom, so it allows air to be inside and outside. Air can flow in and flow out. And the air pressure for both is the same. But hot air balloons have a kind of like a burner or a heat source or a flame. And that allows the air inside the balloon to be less dense, and that allows the air balloon to float up. In other words, long story short, hot air rises. And I have a little demo that I kind of want to show. So right here is a hot plate, and it's going to heat up the air molecules inside. So because of that, the air molecules are moving faster, and hot air is kind of moving up. And as you can see, this bag is being filled up with air. Yeah, so this is kind of similar to how the air balloon works. Because of the heat source right underneath, it kind of floats up. There's lots of air molecules moving inside of the bag, or the balloon part, allowing it to expand and float up into the air. Yeah, so that's how air balloons work. And Mia, you can use this hot air balloon to travel if you're too scared to use or go on a plane.
Well,
Super dope.
Kobe, that looks like a great option. A little scary, I have to say, but I would, of course, 100% love to do or be in a hot air balloon one time in my life. I think that would be a very cool thing to do.
I would be scared. How do you get back down, Kobe? Like, great, this air balloon fills up, then you just pop it?
No, oh my gosh, if we pop the air balloon, we would be going straight down to the ground, and gravity will take us back home. No, so in order for the hot air balloon to go down, what the hot air balloon specialist will do, will probably turn off the flame just a little bit so that the heat won't have the air molecules move so fast. And once the heat slows down and the air molecules slow down, then it will start to descend, and before you know it, you're on land.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Can you imagine though?
Yes, that
Just
would
pop
what I was
that bad
picturing.
boy and
that
you're
would
going
be
straight
very
home.
scary. All right, so Sabrina, you have something as well.
I do. Now, Mia, I don't think you're going to be able to use this for your own flight,
Oh no.
but it's fun. And they're super fun to take out on a mediocrely windy day. What I have here is a kite. And I'm pretty sure this kite is called a sled kite. I was doing some research earlier, and because it has these flaps in the middle, and it doesn't have any rigid structure, so I can squish it, fold it all up. There is no wood pieces, or there's no anything in there to keep it in its structure. So how this works is you put it in the air, and the wind will actually go through these holes, and that's how it stays in the air, because they're closed at the bottom, so the air can't go through. The wind will just pick it up and fly. And also, this type of kite has the strings tied in one place, so they're tied all at the top, So if I lift this up, you can see that they're tied at the top half of the kite, and that's just for stability. So when it's in the air, they found out that when the strings were tied at the top, it stayed in the air the best. And of course, the long kite tail also helps it stay in the air. So I'll do a little demo. Let's see. I think if I run really fast, my kite is gonna get in the air. Let's try it.
Woo!
So you can see the air picking up. That's awesome. So you can see these things got bigger as the air went in between them. And that's how the kite flies. There's lots of other different types of kites, but this one is called a sled kite. Yeah.
Ooh.
Awesome. Thank you, Sabrina. Now, I would really love a kite. So, do you think that we could make some kites?
Yeah, these kites are super easy to make. So let's make one.
But we're going to do this in a science showdown.
Ooh, science showdown time. Dun, dun.
All right. So, Covey and Sabrina are each going to make a kite, and we'll see how they work. So, Sabrina?
Okay, so basically we need some paper. I'm going to use blue paper today. 2 straws, something to poke some holes in, and some string.
Oh, those are like really simple materials.
Very simple. So if you have these materials at home and you want to give it a try, you totally can. I have a nice little outline here. It's basically just a little piece of paper with a square with a little, 2 little pieces out. And that's what we'll go with. So I am going to cut mine out.
Sabrina, where did you find that sled kite template?
This template was on the NASA website, actually. So if you just want to Google sled kite template NASA, I'm sure it would come up for you.
Nice.
Or you can make your own, because it's really not that difficult of a template.
All right. So, while they make their kites, I'm going to talk about a few different kites that there are. And I'll be talking about 3. So, there's a parafoil kite. So, this kite, it doesn't have any sharp edges. It's more of just like looks like a rainbowish. And it has 2 layers. And the way that this flies is the air goes between the 2 layers, and that is what it's able to stay up in the air. And an example of a parafoil kite is a parachute. Another type of kite that we have is a diamond kite. So this one is, of course, it's shaped as a diamond, and this one is probably the most popular because it is the most reliable. The diamond kite also has a very long tail with it, which keeps it up in the air. There's also a frame in the diamond kite made of wood, which just keeps the formation of it together. And another type of kite that there is an inflatable kite. So this one could be a gigantic picture of a heart or a butterfly, a really big blow-up thing. And this one it's designed to keep all of the air in front of the kite, or that's how the air is intaked into it. And these kites, though, they're very, very expensive. They can be up to $1,000. So those are just
$1,000?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So those are just different types of kites. And how are we doing, our scientists?
Not bad. I've got my string tied, so I poked 2 holes in the edge of my kite and got a string. So this would be the string that keeps it together, and then I'll make another string for me to hold on to when I use my kite.
Mm-hmm.
How's yours doing, Kobe?
It's great. So I got my string attached. So the next part is to attach your straws along right here. So along the edge. This will act as the tubes so that air can get through, and it adds structure to your kite as well, so it can capture a lot of air when you're blowing on it. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So while they're finishing up their details on their kites, again, you can text us questions at 306-570-1013, or you can follow us on social media and find us on social media on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at EyesYouth. And you can use the hashtag CouchPotatoLab for us to find you. All right. Are we done? We're
Well,
good?
Mia, what's the criteria? What do I need to make sure my kite has so it can win?
Your kite needs to be able to fly.
Okay.
It needs to have a good structure using like paper or straws and string. And if there's a little bit of a design on it, that could get some bonus points for sure.
Okay, I'm all about the bonus points.
Nice. I think my design will win. It says eyes, and I drew an eyeball. Wow, isn't that
Whoa,
creative?
That is so creative.
So
I
so
love that.
creative. Look at this. Ooh.
All right. While Sabrina's finishing up, maybe we could answer a question. So we have a question that says, the first question, it's, in your airplane diagram, is thrust or drag more powerful? The first question, Covey.
I can answer that. So let's take a look at our diagram right over here. All right, thrust and drag, they're the opposing forces. Thrust allows the airplane to move forward, and drag allows, kind of resists that. And drag is usually the air resistance or the air molecules. Yeah, that's how it represents. So thrust is actually the stronger force because this is important for allowing the airplane to move forward. So thrust is the stronger force when an airplane is flying. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Covey. Sabrina, are you good?
Okay, 1 second. Okay, ready.
Alrighty. So let's look at Sabrina's first.
All right, here's my wonderful design that says STEM is awesome. Okay, so now I have my straws. Okay, the tape. Somebody gave me green tape. I think Covey gave me green tape just so I'd lose so it looks bad. But it's fine. It's still going to fly great. I have my 2 strings tied. Maybe I'll use a blow dryer to help me test out my flying abilities of my lovely kite.
What a great idea, because like, I was thinking about blowing it myself for the kite to fly, but I don't think that's going to work.
That might not be a great idea.
So nice blow dryer. I think I'm going to grab my blow dryer as well.
Okay, here we go. Uh-oh. Press the right button.
Whoa.
Wow, Sabrina, nicely done.
This blow dryer is too strong. It's providing too much thrust. I turn it down a bit.
Very cool.
There we go. That wasn't too bad.
All right, I'm going to do better than Sabrina, hopefully. All right, dun, 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 dun. Oh, oh my God.
It's hard, Cody. I told, like, it's...
Okay, never mind.
Those blow
There's
dryers
like-
have a mind of their own.
No, they're so strong.
All right. Very cool. So they both flew a bit, and that's what really matters. So we're going to be looking at a STEM spotlight named Jean Nash, who is a pilot.
On today's STEM Spotlight, we would like to introduce you to Captain Jean Nash. Captain Nash is a female pilot with Air Canada and has flown with them for over 23 years. In total, she has over 30 years of total flight experience. On a flight this International Women's Day from Toronto to Edmonton, Jean led an all-female flight crew from co-pilot to maintenance to baggage crew. Great work, Captain Nash.
All right. So now we are going to ask our scientists some questions. Okay, so we have a question from Cage, and he wants to know who can do a better floss dance,
What?
Cody or Sabrina?
That's the question.
I've been practicing since last summer for this.
All right, so Sabrina, you want to go first then?
I prefer if we go together.
Dang it.
So come on out in front.
All right.
Okay, Mia, like, give us a beat, count
Okay.
us in, something. Okay,
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh shit! I hit myself.
I'm
Bam.
hitting my mic
Awesome
everywhere.
job. Great.
That's why it's.
I think they were both pretty good. What do you think? Good? Yeah, they were really good. All right. Now, another question is going to be, do drones have the same flying principles? Covey?
Yes, drones have the same flying principles. So thrust, lift, gravity, and drag. Those are all in play when the drone is flying. The one main difference between drones and the airplanes is that airplanes are man-powered, right? So that we are inside the airplane and we're controlling it from there. But for drones, we're not touching it, but we're controlling it wirelessly, like through Bluetooth or something like that. So that's like the main big difference between the drones and airplanes. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We have another question from Cage. How does air temperature affect flight?
Okay,
Sabrina?
I think I can answer that one. So basically, temperature affects the density of the air, and like we saw with the hot air balloon, hot air actually rises. So as the hot air rises in our hot air balloon, it's able to keep climbing. But it also affects, high air temperatures affect also the physics of how an aircraft flies. So takeoff performance can be impaired on hotter days. So if it's too hot outside, an airplane might not be able to take off as well as in cooler temperatures. Also, the amount of lift can be affected based on the density of the air, which makes sense because the density affects maybe the particles in the air, and the particles in the air is going to affect that pressure difference underneath and on top of that wing. So yes, it definitely does affect flying.
Awesome. We have another question from Janine, and it's, why do airplanes de-ice before taking off in cold places?
I can take that one, Mia. So the reason for that is because in cold places there can be like snow and frost that is on the wings of the airplane, and that actually changes the shape of the airplane. So if it changes its shape, then it might affect the lift component of the flight principle. So if there's if the lift is affected and it's not as great, then the airplane might not be able to go up into the air as much. Also, the additional snow and ice and frost on the airplane will make it a little bit heavier. So that will be, those two things would be what airplanes need to overcome to be able to fly. So that's why we need to defrost them to make sure that the shape won't change and the weight won't be as affected, so it's not pulled down to the earth as much. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Covey. And we have one more question, and it's, how does an airplane take off? Sabrina?
Sure. So an airplane takes off with that principle that we were talking about called thrust. So Covey was talking about engines before, and what engines do is they basically move the air so fast and they push the air towards the ground when it comes into contact with that airplane. So when the air moves through the engines, it gets pushed down and then it creates that lift. So the airplane is generally lighter, but it's not actually losing any weight. We're just able to use that air and push it down so that the airplane can soar into the air.
Ooh, what a dream.
Thank you so much for our viewers for viewing today, and bye.
Bye.